you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Good morning, and thanks for tuning in for this Tuesday edition of Good Morning Fort Sill.
Well, we've got another packed show with some great material today, but let's go over to Ulysses real fast. Hey, Ulysses, you know, it's August in Texoma, normally hot and dry, but now it's kind of cool and wet.
It's so nice outside. Yesterday was great, and hopefully more of the same today, even with a little bit of rain, right, Ulysses?
Well, Dan, Kyle, the good news, though, is that today will actually be cooler, but the good news is that the rain that you're seeing here this morning will eventually taper off. So actually, as we make our way towards this afternoon, it's actually going to be feeling rather nice out there. Looking at what's happening currently, though, we're dealing with most of that light to moderate rain. Notice here in Lyon, a lot of that activity is mainly off towards the north, over towards Fort Cobb, making its way into parts of towards Chickasha, Elk City. So we did have some rain in Lyon, but overall, most of the activity has been faring more towards the north. And notice how it's making its way from northwest towards southeast, and this will continue throughout the morning hours, but we will see the activity beginning to reduce. Yesterday, we only topped out at 81 degrees, and that's really all thanks to the cloud cover. Really kind of just won out the battle throughout the most of the day. 67 degrees for the low temperature yesterday, so well below average, at least in the high temperature department. And you can see over our Chickasha Chamber of Commerce tower cam, we're just dealing with those showers and that rain right now. So wet start to the day. Cloudy skies right now at Fort Sill for the morning PT forecast. And as we go throughout the morning hours, overall, though, maybe seeing a couple showers here and there. Gloomy start of the day. Temperatures in the upper 60s.
Well, President Trump might change the name of the Department of Defense. President made that suggestion during a meeting with the president of South Korea yesterday.
And President Trump floated the idea of reverting the DoD back to its pre-World War II name of the Department of War, saying it sounds much stronger and, quote, "We want to be defensive, but we want to be offensive, too."
Pete Hegseth has been incredible with the, as I call it, the Department of War. You know, we call it the Department of Defense, but between us, I think we're going to change the name. You want to know the truth? I think we're going to have some information on that maybe soon, but I think because, you know, Department of Defense, we won the World War I, World War II. It was called the Department of War. And to me, that's really what it is.
The department changed its name in 1949 amid massive restructuring of the military services. That name change was as a result of the National Security Act of 1947, which was approved by the House and Senate and also established the Secretary of Defense.
It's unclear if changing the name of the military apparatus would lead to objections or litigation from Congress.
President Trump has signed an executive order that would punish people for burning the American flag, and this comes despite a 1989 ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court that says the act is protected by freedom of speech.
The Trump administration says burning the flag is uniquely offensive and provocative. They contend that despite that Supreme Court ruling, burning the flag in an effort to incite imminent lawless action or fighting words are not constitutionally protected.
Trump has instructed Attorney General Pam Bondi to prosecute anyone found desecrating the flag in a way that incites violent crimes, hate crimes, and other civil rights offenses.
What the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah, incitement.
Incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately.
Well, school is back in full swing, but there are still plenty of outdoor activities to enjoy right here in Southwest Oklahoma.
The Lake Elmer Thomas Recreation Area on Fort Sill is still open and serving up fun activities, but they're currently running back to school hours. We caught up with Fort Sill MWR Special Events Coordinator Ethan Briner for the scoop.
As we've now hit school season, we've gone to school hours at Lake Elmer Thomas at Letcha, and it's Saturday and Sundays for the beach. After Labor Day, the beach will shut down, the water slides will shut down. Until the weather gets cold, you can still kayak and canoe and do boating activities. But everything is still open. Amenities are still there. You can still go out and paintball and do archery and do mini golf. So everything that you want to do at Letcher is still there. Beach will close down after Labor Day. You got that 4-day weekend coming up for some people. You got a 3-day weekend. Go enjoy the beach. It's beautiful. The weather is always great during Labor Day up there. So go take advantage of it.
Well, thanks, Ethan. Letcher is open weekends from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. They will also be open next Monday, September 1st for Labor Day, which is the last day for the beach, but still tons of other activities out there every weekend as long as the weather holds up.
Moving to news from Altus, the crews with the 56th Air Refueling Squadron at Altus Air Force Base took part in joint medical exercise Vapor Trails at Kelly Field in San Antonio earlier this month.
Vapor Trails is a joint mass casualty and medical readiness exercise designed to enhance aeromedical evacuation and critical care air transport capabilities. The event brings together medical teams, flight crews, and support personnel from across the Air Force. The air crew conducted rapid takeoffs and flight operations to provide critical care air transport teams in-flight experiences they often would not receive until faced with a real-world mission.
The KC-146 was reconfigured by adding flat pallets and removing cargo tracks to create a safe open area for medical teams to move around. This allowed it to showcase how quickly it can transition from fuel operations to patient transport. The Fitness Center at Altus Air Force Base has come up with a unique program. They're calling it the Lift a C-17 Challenge. So from September 2nd until November 7th, advanced weightlifters will have the chance to lift the equivalent of a C-17 aircraft, which is approximately 282,000 pounds.
All right, Kyle, we're going to do this, right?
That's a lot of lifting, man.
That's a ton of lifting. So beginners will have every pound that they lift doubled. So we could do that, Kyle. Maybe check it out. So if you're interested, you have one more week to sign up at the Fitness Center.
Well, this week, Shepherd Air Force Base welcomed new honorary commanders during a pinning ceremony. This is the first time that this program has been held.
Shepherd Air Force Base leaders say that the honorary commander program builds lasting partnerships between them and local leaders in the Wichita Falls community.
And if you're a military spouse looking to build your career or a service member who's transitioning to civilian life, the Military and Family Readiness Center at Shepherd Air Force Base has you covered. They're hosting a career and education fair today at the Events Center.
The fair will be from 10:30 in the morning until 1:30 this afternoon. It will feature over 30 potential employers, 10 colleges, along with a chance to get free professional headshots. The event is open to anyone with base access.
That's not the only event happening, though. Cameron University will be welcoming education claims processors from the Department of Veterans Affairs, as well as representatives from Fort Sill next week.
Veterans, active service members, and their dependents who have questions regarding VA benefits can get assistance from representatives on Wednesday, September 3rd. The event will be at 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon in room 301 of North Shepler Hall.
And the Oklahoma Department of Veterans Affairs is hosting a free business conference next week. It'll be held September 2nd through the 4th at the Metro Tech Spring Lake campus in Oklahoma City. The event is free to attend and open to all military-connected entrepreneurs, including veterans, active duty, Guard, Reserve, and their families.
The 3-day conference features workshops and training on business development, networking opportunities with fellow veteran business owners and community partners, as well as vendors and much more. Those who are interested in attending can register at the website on your screen. Coming up after the break, we will take a look back at the life and legacy of Charles Lindbergh, a trailblazing aviator, author, and military officer.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are. This 7 News broadcast is sponsored by Southwest Buick GMC. Here's your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
Welcome back, everyone. Just a wet start today, especially the further north you go. Looking on radar right now, Hobart, Carnegie, over towards Chickasha, Altus. We're dealing with just that light to maybe a little bit of that moderate rain making its way just to the east of Carnegie here. Now, checking out some of the alerts we have, we do have a flood watch, and that's in the solid green, and that's pretty much for Ouachita. We also do have it for parts of Caddo County and Grady County until noon. We also do have a flood advisory in effect for Ouachita County until 5:30 a.m. So just make sure you turn around, don't drown, especially at night when you really can't see anything. You don't know how deep that water is. So looking at the view right now in our Comanche Nation Entertainment Tower Cam at Medicine Park Aquarium, you can kind of see just a little bit of light here, and you can see kind of just how dark that and low the cloud deck is right now at this moment. Temperature is currently though 60s. For the most part. However, though, down towards the south into the lower 70s, 73 in Graham and Jacksboro, 68 here in Lawton, 65 in Hobart, 63 in Elk City, 66 in Quanah, 66 in Paducah. Looking at your current conditions right now, we are dealing with overall just that frontal system from yesterday kind of just stalling out over towards the Dallas area. We have a trough, and that's just bringing all that rain here pretty much over the northern portion of our viewing area, mostly following along I-40 and then kind of making its way a little bit closer towards the Red River east of our viewing area. So we'll see those rain chances starting to come down a bit as we make our way through the next couple of hours, and then starting to improve by the time we make our way into this afternoon. Tomorrow we'll have a mostly dry day across the area, and then by Thursday, that's when we'll start seeing an uptick in the rain chances here. And then looking at your future track, we'll start seeing those rain chances return Thursday with another front, and then we still kind of have a hit and miss chance of showers as we make our way throughout the weekend. Your PT forecast temperatures in the upper 60s.
The Department of Defense is using a ground-based long-range surveillance system to monitor large areas of the U.S. southern border and detect illegal crossings.
Whether elevated on towers deployed from concealed positions or mounted on armored vehicles, these systems provide persistent coverage across challenging and often inaccessible landscapes. Their integration also reflects the close partnership between the DoD and the Department of Homeland Security in protecting national sovereignty and disrupting illicit activity.
Well, the U.S. Army has given the green light to a new facility in Iowa to support production of in-demand artillery shells. Now, this comes after a decrease in stockpiles following shipments to Ukraine and Israel.
So the future artillery complex in Iowa Army ammunition plant is slated for completion in August of 2029. So the 155 millimeter shells are used in platforms like the M777 howitzer and the M109er Paladin. An Army statement in February calls the 155 millimeter shell, quote, the backbone of the U.S. and allied field artillery. And I obviously can attest to this as a lifelong artilleryman.
Well, this day in military history, on August 26, 1974, Charles Lindbergh died at the age of 72. Lindbergh, of course, well known as the first pilot to make a solo, nonstop flight across the Atlantic.
So he did so in late May of 1927. I mean, man, like think about doing this. So just 3 years after enlisting in the Army, Air Force or Air Service, flying the Spirit of St. Louis, some 3,600 miles from Long Island, New York to Paris, France, a 33-hour-long flight. Lindbergh was honored with a ticker tape parade in New York City upon his return.
Okay, so the crazy thing about this flight, he didn't even have a front windshield. He had to look through a periscope the whole time. I just can't even imagine.
Yeah, some of this early flight, think about some of the early pioneers of flying and some of the other technology that was invented back in this time. It's just crazy. I mean,
well, Lindbergh received U.S. Distinguished Flying Cross and the French Legion of Honor for his history-making achievement. He later became a colonel in the Air Corps Reserve, and following the attack on Pearl Harbor, worked with Henry Ford on bombers and acted as an advisor and test pilot for United Aircraft.
Lindbergh went on to write several books, including The Spirit of St. Louis, which won the 1954 Pulitzer Prize. The airplane bearing that name is on display at the Smithsonian Institution's National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. The U.S. military is coming up on a deadline to keep its military training lands in Hawaii. What obstacles they're facing is coming up after the break on Good Morning Fort Sill.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are.
The Secretary of the Army is facing pushback after announcing he hopes to have a framework to keep the Army's leased training lands in Hawaii by the end of this year.
The Army's leases at Pohakaloa in Hawaii Island and other Oahu sites are set to expire in 4 years. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll suggests land exchange might be part of the mutually acceptable framework.
Some environmental and cultural groups in Hawaii are against that plan, but Governor Josh Green is concerned the Army could simply take the land through eminent domain.
What Governor Green needs to do is to get the Pentagon to recognize this instead of just vaguely alluding to eminent domain as if it's a boogeyman that's supposed to scare us into submission.
I explained very clearly that it could be counterproductive for the federal government to take our land because everyone saw what happened on Mauna Kea.
Governor Green insists there have been no formal conversations about a land exchange, but wants Makua Valley to be returned to the state in addition to extra concessions from the military, like housing development for soldiers.
Well, protests erupted in Washington state over the weekend after a longtime resident was detained by ICE during a citizenship interview. Mohammed Zahid Chowdhury is originally from Pakistan and had been living in the U.S. for nearly 25 years.
Chowdhury previously served in the Washington Army National Guard, but was discharged afterwards for sustaining a back injury that made him rely on a wheelchair. He had been pursuing citizenship for over a decade. Immigration officials say he was detained due to failing to disclose that he had been arrested in Australia for using a fake passport and a fake credit card when he moved to the U.S.
His wife claims that he was given waivers to stay in the country by a judge in 2018, so his sudden arrest comes as a complete shock.
We are asking the judge for a custody redetermination, saying that he does not have to be kept behind bars. He has always shown up for all of his hearings. He has deep ties to the community. He's not a flight risk. He's not a threat. Bring him back to us while things work their way through.
Immigration officials have not commented on Chowdhury's arrest. He's currently being held in a facility in Washington.
Well, the 2025 National Champion Air Races are right around the corner in Roswell, New Mexico.
They'll take place September 10th through the 14th at Roswell Air Center. There will be races featuring jaw-dropping aerobatics, roaring warbirds, and powerful military aircraft that celebrate both aviation history and modern innovation. Fans
can also get to see U.S. military aircraft up close and personal. For more details, including ticket information, go to airrace.org. Well, softball season is in full swing, and a nonprofit organization in Indiana is helping veteran amputees step into the batter's box.
So Alexander Bullock is in the dugout with more on what it means to vets to be able to enjoy America's pastime.
The USA Patriots, a softball team made up of veterans and amputees, took the field this weekend alongside local heroes from 21 countries. All took part in the charity tournament giving back to kids with amputations. Landis Sims, a player on the Patriots, grew up in southern Indiana and started playing baseball at kids camp at age 9. Now, he's on the team and says this opportunity means everything.
Growing up in a small town in Indiana, there's not really a lot of other amputees. Like, that's just not something you see. I played baseball growing up, so it was super fun for me to go to a softball camp and hang out and, you know, just get to kind of mess around with the guys. And so it's been fun, and now, you know, getting to come to all these events and help fundraise and give back to those kids.
For Sims, this game isn't just about competition. It's about sharing their journeys, showing resilience, and inspiring fans, including kids with amputations.
Put them in the spotlight, because sometimes being an amputee, it's kind of difficult to be in the spotlight, so that's what it's all about.
Army team captain Josh Fisher helped organize the events and says watching the Patriots play is just as inspiring for them.
It means a lot to me, just watching the amputee guys play. It shows a lot of inspiration on saying that if you can't do it, but they can, it changes your mindset. It's really cool to see the kids interact with them and them also interacting with the kids for them to understand what's going on.
Fort Wayne Turner Turner's softball operations director, Robert Bontrager, joined the team and says this event matters to the community.
I saw veterans over here last night on the bench. They loved it, chatted with them a little bit about their experience, how they served and all that kind of stuff. And people out here last night just hanging out. It's huge for what Fort Wayne is. And next year, if we do it again, we want to make it double the size, make more awareness.
If you ever get the chance, if you see us, we're back in town. Like, come hang out, come see us.
Here's your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. And looking at satellite and radar, good amount of cloud cover south of the river, but notice how most of the rain is well off towards the north. You can see line is kind of the cutoff point over towards Duncan, and then you can see really just that rain increasing as you make your way closer towards I-40, Hobart, over towards Chickasha. Alta is kind of dealing with some of those waterworks right now, but making its way more from the northwest towards the southeast. Now, right here on our Comanche Red River Hotel Casino Tower, Cayman Duval, really not much happening here. A lot of the activity, like I mentioned before, is off towards the north, but we've also dealt with the change in the temperatures. 11 degrees cooler in Childress, 6 in Lyon, 5 in Chickasha, and also towards Duncan, 4 in Wichita Falls. The exception, though, 1 degree warmer over towards Graham, and we do have that stationary front pretty much over Dallas right now, extending into parts of New Mexico. We have a trough that's pretty much just bringing those showers right now across the northern portion of our viewing area, and we'll continue with that rain here as we go throughout the morning hours, but eventually decreasing by the time we make our way towards this afternoon. And then as we progress into tonight, we'll have mostly quiet conditions across the area. Tomorrow, mostly quiet day across the board. And then by Thursday, we'll have rain chances beginning to re-increase once again. Fort Sill, we'll see our temperatures into those 60s throughout the morning hours. This afternoon, we'll make our way up to 76 degrees, near record cold high temperatures. Tonight will drop down to 66. And then as we progress throughout your 7-day forecast, we'll see our temperatures kind of going, well, we'll be mostly in the 80s.
Think we're going to beat that record?
There's a chance. There's a chance. I mean, if the sun doesn't break through, we could do it, you know?
Yeah. I would love it.
Oh, yeah. I'll take it.
For sure. Well, thanks for watching. Good morning, Fort Sill.